A multi-role fighter, MRF, is an essential asset for any nation's air force due to its versatility, capability, and critical role in maintaining sovereignty and security. MRFs are designed to handle multiple roles, including air-to-air combat, air-to-ground attacks, reconnaissance, and interception. MRFs ensure the defense of a country's airspace, deterring hostile incursions and protecting borders. Without an MRF, nations are vulnerable to unauthorized airspace violations and threats. MRFs are vital for projecting power beyond borders, demonstrating a country's capability to defend its interests abroad. The Philippines' struggle to acquire a multi-role fighter, MRF, has been a hot topic in defense circles, as the country remains vulnerable without this crucial asset for modern air defense. But here's the surprising twist: the Philippines isn't alone. In fact, there are other well-known countries that also lack MRFs, leaving their skies just as exposed. Hi, welcome back to our channel. Before we delve deeper, if you are new to our channel, welcome, enjoy, and subscribe. Do you want to get informed about the latest news and updates in defense here and abroad? Then hit the subscribe button and like our video to get updated here in Defense Forces Insight. If you already subscribed to our channel, sit tight, enjoy, and watch till the end. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Let's start. While the Philippines' lack of a multi-role fighter, MRF, is often highlighted, it's not the only nation facing this critical defense gap. Surprisingly, other well-known countries also operate without MRFs, leaving their airspace and security vulnerable in an age of evolving threats. You'll be surprised what country is on our list. Let's start with number 1. Mexico. Mexico is arguably the most unexpected nation without combat jets. The Mexican Air Force's primary fighter jet, utilized for light assault missions, has been the Northrop F-5E since the 1980s. But Mexico only has 3 of these old jets surviving, according to Flight Global. There are about 33 Pilatus PC-7 turbo trainers in Mexico as well. Although they are set up for a combat role in Mexico, these prop aircraft can be utilized in certain combat scenarios. Surprisingly, the largest Spanish-speaking nation in the world has none multi-role fighter for its combat Air Force wing. Perhaps with the powerful United States as its usually friendly neighbor, Mexico doesn't see the need to make significant investments in such capabilities, in contrast to Canada to the north. Number 2. New Zealand. Pilots from New Zealand were heavily involved in the Battle of Britain during World War II. The A for Skyhawk and Aermacchi MB-339 equipped squadrons were disbanded in 2001, marking the end of the Royal New Zealand Air Force's combat capability during the Cold War. The United States had offered to lease 28 Block 15 F-16 Fighting Falcons that were supposed to go to Pakistan, and New Zealand was going to take up the offer. In contrast, 2001 was a time of peace following the end of the Cold War and preceding the rise of China and the global power competition with the U.S. There didn't seem to be any compelling argument for New Zealanders to pay for the F-16s. The matter became to be a significant electoral issue. The incoming Labour government broke its election pledge by canceling the F-16s, retiring the Skyhawks without a replacement after the national government ultimately lost the election. Number 3. Ireland. Ireland has zero combat-capable air force, which is remarkable even though many people might not expect it. With a population of about 5.2 million and a thriving economy, Ireland is on level with Nordic nations like Sweden, Denmark, Norway, and Finland, all of which have sizable air forces. Its economy is far larger than Slovakia's, which is even smaller and has purchased new F-16 Block 70s. Ireland's decision not to acquire MRF stems from a mix of political neutrality, limited funding, reliance on allies, and low threat perception. While this approach aligns with its current priorities, it leaves Ireland dependent on external support for airspace security, a topic of ongoing debate among defense analysts and policymakers. Number 4. Argentina. Argentina has 34 light combat aircraft. During the Falklands War, the Royal Navy was famously severely damaged by the Argentine Air Force. But neither the civilian government nor the general population trusted the military when Argentina lost the war and the hated military dictatorship was toppled, putting an end to the dirty war the junta was fighting against its own people. The outcome has been years of inadequate funding of the Argentine military, to the extent that the country's air force virtually lacks a combat wing. Argentina has 10 FMAIA 63 Pampas, primarily training aircraft, and 24 aged attack fighter A-4 Skyhawks. The type first flew in 1954, according to Flight Global. Although French Super-tendered fighter jets were purchased by the Argentine Navy, they are currently non-operational due to British sanctions. This will change when the U.S., with the consent of the UK, approve the acquisition of refurbished F-16AM and BM from Denmark. Argentina will receive 24 former Danish F-16 Fighting Falcons, which will provide its depleted air force a moderate level of combat strength again. Number 5. Panama. Famous for its Panama Canal, Panama does not have a traditional air force. Instead, it operates the National Air and Naval Service, SENAN, which focuses on aerial surveillance, law enforcement, and maritime patrol. This structure reflects Panama's unique defense priorities and limitations. Panama prioritizes counter-narcotics operations, border security, and disaster relief over external defense. SENAN uses light aircraft and helicopters for patrol and transport, which are sufficient for these missions. As a historically strategic ally of the United States, Panama has relied on U.S. support for defense and security, including airspace protection. This reliance reduces the perceived need for acquiring advanced multi-role fighters. Panama has no immediate external military threats, allowing it to focus on non-combat missions like search and rescue and maritime surveillance. Number 6. Iceland. Iceland is a Nordic island nation located in the North Atlantic, known for its stunning natural landscapes, including glaciers, volcanoes, geysers, and hot springs. Despite its small size, Iceland is strategically significant due to its location between North America and Europe, making it a key NATO member for transatlantic security. The country has no standing military, relying instead on NATO partnerships and its Coast Guard for security and search and rescue missions. Iceland does not have a traditional air force. Instead, it relies on NATO's rotational air policing missions to secure its airspace. Allied nations, including the United States and various NATO members, deploy fighter jets to Keflavik Air Base for airspace surveillance and defense. Countries without MRFs face limitations in securing their airspace, relying heavily on alliances or outdated platforms. For many, economic constraints or strategic reliance on larger allies contribute to this gap in defense capabilities. There you have it. Other well-known countries in the world aside from the Philippines don't have an MRF. What do you think of the countries without an MRF? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you learned and enjoyed our video. If you want to watch a video informative like this, click any of the 2 videos that will appear before this video ends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.